Oh my goodness. Good morning and welcome back to the PWL. We are here at the Pro Wakeskate League, second stop, Junction Function. I am Marcus Knox. I'm joined by TJ Geezy. How we doing, TJ?
Well, now that we made it, it was a tough, tough trip to get here. Definitely didn't make it easy on us with the airlines, but we made it. We're here, and we're about to get into Open Division Heat number one. There's a couple guys in here I've never even seen ride before, so I'm pretty excited to get right into it. But let's chat format here, Mark, because we do have. We missed you at stop number one, but we do have a new scoring system here. We've got a numerical scoring system. Our format's going to be a little different than it was at Valdosta, mainly because each stop that we are doing these events at has a different setup, and we kind of have to adapt, to best fit the venue here. So we are going to do slightly different setup this time. For both pro and open, the format's going to be the same. But basically what we're looking at is each rider in each heat is going to get 12 total pulls, and 8 of them are going to be for best line. So they're going to hit both spots, best line. They get 8 pulls at that. 2 of them are going to be judged, and then they'll get 4 additional pulls at a best singular trick, and only one of those will be judged. So we're looking at 3 overall lines from the 12 pulls. And yeah, from there we'll get into. I think in the beginning there it takes us a little bit to get the scoring set. We've got this cool little slider app where we kind of just adjust the slider to give them the score. And in the first couple heats, we're kind of building a a baseline for what we're going to be seeing all weekend. And then going into that, we're going to see those scores get higher and higher all weekend.
Yeah, I love the new format. I especially love the live judging. It's not going to be a mystery what's going on. Both us and you at home will be able to see exactly what the score is. The riders have a TV screen up there. They're going to be able to see what they're going up against. And there's your description as TJ just read it out. You got 8 line attempts. Your best line counts. 4 trick attempts. Your best trick counts. So you get 2 scores that ultimately count towards whether or not you move on to the final tomorrow.
Yeah, and we're gonna hammer home this format and just judging style because again, it's new for all of us, and we are having to adapt. Each setup is different, and we want to highlight the actual setups here. Trey has built a absolutely incredible venue out here. I mean, these rails, the drops, it couldn't be more perfect. But we can't just use a cookie cutter format for each one because we want to highlight this and best utilize the setups out here. So I'm definitely going to be reiterating exactly what we're looking at, how many lines each person has, because it's new for us too. So I'll be trying to get the hang of it as we're going along.
It's going to be a blast, and we've got an extremely heavy first open heat right here. If I'm not mistaken, we got Paul Pugh and Dominic, who are both from the STL setup. Ride with Bob up there quite a bit. Been seeing some awesome clips of those guys. I got to watch Paul practice yesterday, working on some pretty cool
stuff. Is
this
full Water Monster heat right now? What's going on here?
We do have a full Water Monster heat.
Wow, you love to see. These guys really know what's what out here. They've got the right equipment, I'll tell you that much, Mark.
Yes, and then we got Shane Edward, who has just been huge come up this summer.
Speaking of Water Monsters,
many
Water
clips.
Monster Grom, right? I think he's on flow for Water Monster right now, I believe.
That is the word on the street. But guy, I met him last night for the first time. My man is only 15 years old, throwing down grown man lines. Super excited to see what he can do in this amateur division. How did he do in the Valdosta stop?
Shane did awesome, man. That was my first time getting to meet Shane. He's a super cool kid. I know he's only 15 years old, but he's definitely very mature for his age. So got to hang with him at Valdosta, watched him shred on the full-size cable. He was an absolute crusher. He probably could have been riding in the pro division. He's that good. And I also got to spend a little time with him after the contest, a little bit riding with him in Jordan. So super cool kid, and I expect big things from him in the open division. These guys are going to have their work cut out for them competing against him because he's young, but he's got tricks.
Yeah, he has been absolutely on fire. The open division in general, from just 2 years ago, the step up in talent, they're doing lines that would have gotten you through in pro a few years ago. And that just shows the elevation not only of open but of the pro division. Just this morning we had Maxime. He's a late arrival. Maxime Giry from France, amazing. The guys who make the journey across the pond, him, Daniel Grant. But Maxime threw down a hard flip back lip this morning, like nothing in practice. So it's the level of riding is just elevated, which is reflected both in the judging and what the judges are going to take as a good score. and our new format. So,
Man, speaking of Maxime, he didn't even land until like 10 p.m. last night. Long day of travel. Got in late. Woke him up first thing this morning. He's out there doing hard flip back lips.
amazing.
That's terrifying. I'm glad I'm not riding against him. I don't envy you, but
I know. It's me, Max, Craig, and Daniel Grant in the first pro heat. It's gonna be it's gonna be fun.
well, it
I
looks like
did hear.
we just got the okay from the judges here. I think we're about to fire off the first pull and open. I think we got Paul Pugh. He's
That's
going to
right.
lead us off. He's top off of the order. We've got. I'll give you guys the order real quick here. On first pull, we got Paul Pugh coming in for his first hit. The backside board slide. Paul looking comfy out there. You love to get that first pull and stay dry. It's a big confidence builder.
Board slide for Paul Pugh. Just warming it up, feeling good. They've changed since even last year. We've got new rails on the bottom pond. So if you remember last year, we had a clack rail. That's gone. We had a high ledge on the toe side. That's gone. Now we have a higher ledge on the left side. So if you're regular footed, that's your back side. And then we have a little bit lower on the right side. If you're regular, that's going to be on your toes. And then another flat ledge, not flat, little down rail on the right side of the dam. Lots of options, lots of gaps. Paul Pugh warming up, feeling good.
One thing I did notice this year about the setup, it's been a couple years since I've been out here to Blackwater, but I really like what Trey did with the adding some symmetry out here. It seems like he did a pretty good job of balancing out. You know, there in the past there's been more features out here, and they've given a lot more options to guys. Seems like he paid a little bit more attention this time to kind of creating some symmetry out there, so you had similar situations going on the right and left sides.
Here comes Shane Edward for his first pull. Nice front board on that toe side ledge.
Yeah, board side fakie.
Looking good, Shane. Everybody just getting their runs in, warming up. And yeah, I'm biased, but seeing four guys riding one guy's riding a, is that a Quantum board?
It is a Quantum up there. Yep.
Okay, cool. Is that Todd Allen then?
I don't know, I thought Todd was riding a Water Monster. I think Todd's got a Colt.
Okay, yeah, you're right. He's just looking at one maybe. Shane Edwards feeling confident riding that new Belcito board. I love Trav's new graphic. The horses and the red. Red is such a good color for a Wakeskate. You want a bright color on the bottom. See it when it's flipping around. Know when to put your feet down.
Yeah, Trav's graphic was one of my favorites this year. I would be riding that graphic, I think, but I'm loyal to Cole. Cole's Trav's my boy for longer than Cole's been my boy, but Trav doesn't ride a 40. So
here comes Todd.
Todd Allen. Speaking of the Cole Craze 40, he's on the 2024 Cole Craze 40, and it looks good under his feet.
Yep. That is the rumor on the street is that is the best seller this year.
Yeah,
the Cole Craze.
It's the most universal size, I would say. It's kind of dead in the middle. It's a 40. You can't go wrong. Can't be too big or too small for it.
I think it's a combination of it's a good size. Everybody likes the 40, and also just the aura of Cole Craze is a factor. Cole Craze winning the first stop of the PWL. He'd had a lot of close calls throughout the years, but winning that first stop, got to feel awesome. Cole's one of the best to ever do it, and certainly one of the most stylish. So it is awesome to see him doing well. And awesome to see these guys ride a Water Monsters as we got Dominic.
Yeah, this is a new name and new face for me. Dom, I've not met him before. Just met him this weekend. Super nice guy. He's the guy up there riding the Quantum board. So Quantum.
No, he's riding my board.
Is he?
Yep.
So there was a Quantum up there though.
Ooh, yeah, nice little ride on front lip.
There we go.
See, okay, isn't that funny? He rides the STL setup too, and his inclination was to go for the toe side ollie down the drop. The same as Paul.
What's the reasoning behind that? Is that just a way that they're hitting the drop there that makes it convenient, or?
So no, I don't. Yeah, so it's not the drop there, but what Paul was telling me yesterday is that when they're coming back, the nice flat spot is on their toes. So I was asking him why. Paul was trying to kickflip on the toe side, which, while very cool, is slightly unusual. And he said, hey, man, it's just more comfortable that way. That's what I'm used to because of the STL setup. So it's pretty cool to see. All right, that's 4 landed lines from these guys. Everybody's got one down. My understanding, so you have to land 2 lines, but your best one will count, is the idea. Okay, 2 lines count and 1 trick counts. There we go. As Paul comes in for his second. Oh, nice little ride up 270 front board, switch front board. Ooh. Pulled out, kind of got almost a little stuck there, but no hand drag. Did a ride on 270 front board to board slide. I think the ride on was switch. So switch 270 front board to board slide fakie out of that nice new ledge. Got to feel, you get warmed up, landing 2 lines in a row to start it off, you got to feel good. Now, no matter what happens, he will be judged, right? He gets his 2 hits. He's going to want to step it up big time, though. The competition is pretty fierce in this open division.
Each of these guys is going to get 12 pulls, Mark. So, I mean, it sounds like, not that many, but it's quite a few pulls. There's definitely more than enough time for you to just do some confidence builders, do tricks that are not going to be judged. They're going to be throwaway lines, if you will, but are still worthwhile to do to build your confidence up and help you work towards those harder lines.
Absolutely. Josh Bartell, another guy who's no stranger to winning the open division. Just walked behind us. Pretty excited to see what he's up to. As Shane Edwards gets to go. This guy's, from Canada, riding at the Rail Yard is the name of that spot they're always hitting.
Dude, the Rail Yard looks
very
so
cool.
Fun. I can't wait to get up there.
Yep, that's going to be the 3rd stop in just a short 2 weeks. But home spot for this guy, Shane Edwards. Obviously a great place to learn how to wakeskate. Look how amazing this young guy is doing.
He's got a heck of a coach, too.
Oh, yeah.
Jordan Sullivan, kind of relatively new on the scene. I mean, we've been seeing him around for a couple years. Shane looking like, I think he was going for that front shove backboard, but able to kind of salvage it into a front shove 50 and then a clean front lip. This is one of those times where it's worth it to do that front lip because he's going to go back and do that front shove board slide.
Oh, yeah.
Worth it to do the front lip just for the confidence builder so I got that next try.
Yep. Yeah, didn't get quite as much rotation as he wanted. I am no stranger to having that issue. We'll definitely confess to under-shoving a board slide, front board or backboard, when trying to get into it, but got that down. Not exactly what he wanted, but again, feels good to ride away. All right, here comes Todd Allen for his second pull. Nice board slide, ollie on. What's he want for this second one? Ooh, got a little crazy on the shove down. Got up and got to him. Todd Allen, resident for a long period of time at the Valdosta Wake Compound. Amazing wakeboarder, great wake skater, even better friend. Todd Allen. As Dom gets ready for his second pull here. Drone in the air. I don't know if you guys follow Ian McGregor, but he is our trusty drone pilot doing an incredible job. And he's going all over the world this summer. My goodness, I saw him post a picture of a map of his stops. His talents are in high demand, even more so, infectious positive attitude. And he has, I can't remember where you were yesterday, Ian, a park not too far from here, but he's driving all over the country, going to wake events here and there, riding a ton. I saw he stomped on a wakeboard his first couple 1080s. That was pretty hype.
Yeah, Ian, one of the most talented guys in the game. I feel honored that he's here with us this weekend because it's a big weekend for Wake. They've got the RGR events going on in wakeboarding this weekend over in I think they had an event last weekend at West Rock, and then this week they're at Action Wake Park. So a lot going on. So Ian taking the time to be with us out here is huge, and we definitely appreciate him. You can't. I mean, could you imagine not having this as spoiled as we are now with Ian's drone view? I mean, from a judging perspective, there's no better view than being over top of it all.
Yeah.
You can see around all the spray. So sometimes, depending on your angle and the trick spray can make it difficult to see, the fine details. The way Ian flies over these guys, I mean, we can see every little detail. It makes it tough on them because, even a slight little shimmy of your foot or a little wobble, it's all visible now. But I think, for the end product, it's a good thing to have someone being able to fly that close to them.
Yep, it is awesome. Looks like we're working on getting somebody added to the long camera. Alex Am's down there. I haven't said hi to him yet. That was Dominic. Just went down on a shove attempt down the top drop. As Paul Pugh gets ready for his third pull. Got to be feeling good. Landed 2 in a row. Checking on the comments, guys. Let me know if you want a shout out. Cam says, let's go, Todd. Con Frog says, heck yeah, Dahmer. Welcome, everybody watching. Very stoked to have you here. We got a great morning of riding set up to go.
Stop number 2, Mark. We are back. You're back. I mean, I was out here at stop number 1. Yeah. It was awesome to be back, but we were missing you, man. It's great to have you back here on the mic, and also stoked to be sitting next to you and watching this wake skating with you.
Well, you and me know a little something about sitting next to each other, considering the 8 hours we spent in the car yesterday. But I appreciate the welcome back. I'm definitely excited. The Valdosta was the first stop I've missed in the last few years, but I'm very, very stoked to be here at, what really is kind of the seminal event of the summer for wake skating. It's just the setup is too good. Camping on the hill, being here at Trey's Farm, seeing it change every year. I just figured out this is the 7th time I've visited up here with Trey, and it just gets better.
I got the full tour of the property yesterday when we got here too, and it's been a couple years since I've been up here. So much has changed, but just every single time I come, the progress they've made. They're building cabins now. They've got Airbnbs around the property. I mean, this place has gone from being a wake skate location to just a location. You don't have to wake skate to come here and have a good time. The views from some of these cabins and the Airbnbs they've got out here now, the views are absolutely beautiful.
Amazing.
I mean, could not beat the weather. I feel very lucky to have escaped Florida this week. So, but here we go. We're back on the water right now.
With Paul Pugh.
We got Paul, full cut helmet. That's how you can tell him coming.
Nice board slide. Good ollie on there. Coming around the outside.
In our faces. He brought that front big right over to us.
Okay, love that. Front big down this big drop is no freaking joke. I love throwing it toe side. I know that's the way he's more comfortable doing it, but it looks so cool the way he did it. Caught it perfect. Just got a little stuck on the water there at the bottom. He's definitely going to get that. And my guess is he gets that next try, and then he steps up his first trick, goes for the front big again. That would be my strategy.
I love that he did the front big with the front hand the whole way around. I'm a big fan of that, especially down drops. That's my preferred way of doing that trick.
It looks purty. Oh. Love that. The options are limitless out here. If you are trying to do the most technical rail tricks possible, we already saw one in practice this morning. If you're just trying to do a big stunt down the drop, it all looks cool, and I mean, I feel it's just a huge part of it is just being here. Something different about seeing these tricks go down here. You feel special when you're riding. It definitely adds to the nerves, Not everybody gets to be here. Almost nobody gets to ride. Okay, got a little more square on that.
Yeah, not quite full
right
perpendicular, but definitely improved. Oh, and he shoves out of the front lip.
Love that.
Yeah. I think he knew even that front shove board slide wasn't perfect, so again, not going for the front lip, trying to move on, do the front lip shove. Shane, putting that line together would be heavy for open. I mean,
that's a really good open line.
That would be a solid, qualifying line for the pro division. So
right.
for the open guys to be doing that type of stuff in the first heat just is a testament to the level of riding out here. It's definitely moving in the right direction again, and these, some of these open guys are starting to blur the lines of whether they're pro or open. Shane probably one of those guys. He's absolutely capable of riding in there with the pros, but I think, I'd like to see him take a dub, maybe a couple dubs in open before moving up. He's just being so young, just getting the experience out here, hitting these setups, learning strategy and how to kind of watch what your competitors are doing to kind of figure out what you need to do in order to get where you need to be. Because you're not always just out there riding against yourself. I mean, they are competing against the entire field, so they're not going heat for heat.
Right.
But you do kind of got to be aware overall of what's happening out there because, you may or may not need to turn it up a little bit in order to get through.
Here comes Todd, and we got our scoring now on the board so you guys can see what they're doing as Todd Allen approaches this. Ooh, just went down on that shove. Had a little trouble exiting. I feel that's a lot of people with the speed sometimes. They'll pop so hard that when they try and rotate the board, they almost get stuck and catch on the tail of the water. That's something that a lot of guys, some of the guys in the Open will have to adjust to.
One thing I feel like we see a lot in the Open too is, as people are getting more comfortable with doing tricks down drops, your instinct is to try to tone stuff down and not do it as big to make it a little easier to land. But what I found, and I think a lot of us have found, is it actually helps to pop your tricks. Even though you're going down a drop, you would think popping them makes it a bigger distance for you to fall, making it harder to land. But when you pop those tricks, it brings the board up to you. It allows you to kind of keep your knees bent. You're not putting the landing gear down. So kind of going against what you would think is common sense, popping your tricks going down the drop actually leads to softer landings, more control, because you got the board closer to you. You're not extending your legs early. So I think that's what we're seeing with both Todd and Paul. They're really popping those flats tricks down it, but I think that's the right call.
I think so too. And, doesn't hurt that it looks better,
It certainly does.
Oh, I'm going to be hopping on that log at some point. There's a viewer log over here where you can just sit in this middle pond and check out the action as Dominic.
Little toe dipping section for dipping the toes.
Yep. Just over-rotated that shove. Another thing that when you're first trying to hit drops, feels like when you're on cable, boat, jet ski, on flat water, you're worried about getting the board around. That's usually not the problem when you're going down a drop. And when people are accustomed to one way and then going down a drop, a big issue in the beginning is over-rotating those shove tricks.
Yeah, you definitely want to catch those shoves at 90, almost like if you're shove lip sliding. Catching the shove at 90 so that you can bring it around the rest of the way with your feet. You're not trying to chase it all the way to the water. It's definitely helpful. And that's true for every trick. If you're rotating the board 360, catching it at 270 and coming down, just giving you more control. And again, going back to the fact that it just looks better when you're catching your tricks, showing control, but catching them also leads to more consistency. So, and the judges like to see that, I'll tell you that much. Not all tricks are created equal. Two big spins are not going to score the same. There's so much variation in what can be done. And as we can see, we got the first couple scores up here. These scores, basically, we have 3 judges right now. Each judge gets to submit a score on a scale of 0 to 10. And then we average all 3 scores. So no individual judge or person is making a decision here on who gets scored what. We're taking an average on 3 different people's opinions. So I think, honestly, Mark, I think it's the fairest way to do it. When we're talking about, making a decision like this that's so subjective, everyone has their different tastes of what they want to see. So taking 3 people's opinions who all know what they're looking at, they're all going to be slightly differing, and giving the average of all of them, I think is the fairest way to approach this. And I think the riders are getting a more fair shake this way too.
Yeah, I personally love it. I love the live scoring, being able to see how you're doing as you're doing it. Paul just going down on that switch 270 front board shove out. So he's trying to step up that first trick before he gets the front big. It's risky, but we do get a lot of pulls. And he looked very comfortable in the switch 270 front board the first time. Of course, if you ollie into it, it's a different story than if you're sliding on to the rail. But the slider is there for a reason. It enables some folks to... Nice back lip out of Shane Edward as he comes in heel side. Ooh, love that. Perfect back 3 down the big drop. Hey, spinning your body and the board down the big drop is big time, especially in this open division. Back lip was cool. Shane Edwards showing why he is one of the favorites for the open division.
So Shane's got a couple good scores under his belt already. He was already sitting towards the top right now. That's certainly going to be the best thing we've seen out of him so far.
Let's see this replay here.
Oh, there is something in the water up there. I can tell you yesterday when we were taking our little practice session. Oh, yeah. Look at the control. He just immediately reaches around, gets the pass, and then from there it just looks like he's dropping out of the sky.
Money on the back 3.
Love to see it. Yeah, where Shane just went down, I fell several times up there, too, doing the same thing. So it's not him. There's an imaginary stop stick up there.
It's tricky. As Todd Allen comes in, he's been doing great on this first dam, struggling a little bit to shove down the second one. Nice ollie board slide.
Odd just needs to get the confidence back up, land something right here.
Going for the front shove.
Yeah,
Changing it up a
it was
little bit.
behind him. He kicked it out right away. We got Dom coming up right here. Dom's going to round out run number 4. So we're about halfway through as Dom comes through here and takes his 4th pull. We'll be halfway through this run section. Again, these guys are getting 8 pulls here. So right now in this first section, we're doing lines. So we're counting both drops. These guys are getting 8 pulls to hit both drops, and we're going to take their top 2 lines. And then we're going to move into the best trick section, and we'll be getting 4 pulls and taking their best trick of the 4 pulls. So each guy getting a total of 12 pulls. So we've got a little ways to go here, but we're about halfway through this line section here. Everyone's got a line under their belt. Everyone's got some scores. We're getting up about that time where you're going to start seeing the lines get a little spicier. Difficulty level is going to start getting upped here.
Oh, see, he rotated it good that time. No over-rotation on that shove from Dom.
Yeah, you see him making the adjustments, as you were saying earlier. He definitely, the first one he over-rotated. That one he slowed it down. I think that was more just mental there because the board was there for him. But you see these guys making their adjustments. And again, especially for a lot of the open people, there's not that many setups like this in the world. So a lot of times when you're coming to an event like this, especially your first couple times coming to these events, you're learning how to hit these type of setups. There's not a ton of them out there in the world for you to practice on. So a lot of these guys are learning tricks for the first time or dialing tricks in, for the first few times. So that's something to keep in mind with the open division. And again, even when they could be competing in the pros, a lot of the times what it comes down to is not skill level. The pro guys just have the strategy. They've been in these events. They know what they need to do to get through, and that's just as important as your actual skill level as well.
For sure, as Paul Pugh comes in looking for a different first trick. Also riding a different Wakeskate. Going for the board slide. Looks like he wants the front big. Come on. Oh, just going down on the front big.
Yeah, Paul doing it on the Quantum. There's that Quantum Wakeskate that we saw on there. Quantum, I believe Quantum Wakeskate's out of Thailand. They've kind of come onto the scene pretty strong here recently. They've got quite a team. We've got Keaton Bolby on that team. We've got Pierre Truz, Clement de Premontville. I don't know if you've kept up with Clement. We haven't seen him in the States for a while, but Clem dropped just a little 30-second clip of him riding some 2.0 the other day. That
large kickflip.
I would say he made a case in his 30-second clip of riding 2.0. I'd say Clem made a case that he might still be the best in the world.
That is, he definitely is. Watching Clem ride is a freight train of emotion on a Wakeskate. It is just something else. As Shane Edward, 15 years old, coming out of, here's our Wax House bio. He's sponsored by Water Monsters, Innovation 7, Rail Yard, and Wake Canada. Thank you, Wax House, for sponsoring the bio as he comes in. His last line was pretty darn good. Ooh,
there it is. That one's teed up right there.
Yep.
Coming off of a strong line already. Here goes Shane. Let's see if he shoved out of it. Wow.
Ooh,
Wow,
all right.
wow.
Okay, so we got a front shove board slide. Most teed up he's done into a front lip back shove out. That is a really strong line.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what the judges do here because, this was significantly more difficult than anything we've seen yet today. So I'm really curious to see where these guys are at with that because, again, that'd be a tough line right there in pro. That line's probably pushing him through pro depending on what these guys do. So definitely curious to see where these scores end up. We're going to get an update here in just a second.
Yes, we will. And
I'm watching this graphic, waiting for the scores to come up here. It definitely it makes it fun watching this when you're waiting to see the scores come in and see where it moves these guys around. One of the cool parts about this stop, as you can see on the start dock up there, there's a monitor for these guys, so they're also getting the updates and the scores. So their strategies are going to be changing based on what they're seeing on that feed. If you're in the middle of working on a trick and it's not happening and somebody else lands something, you might be forced to move on and skip that trick.
Yo.
Todd Allen looking for the board slide, back 270 off, just going down.
And that is something else. That's a great trick. I feel like that's really hard down this big drop. Probably worth more than the shove he was trying. You're shooting down into the water, turning backside off the rail.
Yeah, I agree. I think that was a smart move on Todd's decision.
He looks
Todd,
more comfortable with that one too.
he's in general, Todd is most comfortable on the rails. Obviously, he's a Valdosta resident, so he spends a lot of time out there. VWC, one of the best parks in the world, and Todd, a heck of a wakeboarder as well, also a wake skater. But it shows when he hits those rails. As soon as he gets on a rail, you can just see comfort level, handle control. Like, I think it was a smart decision on Todd's part to adjust strategy and maybe go for that board slide 270 out. Also seen him do some board slide big spins out, so he's definitely capable of doing some tricks to put the pressure on Shane and the rest of these guys as well.
For sure. You love to see it as we get ready. Who's that up next? That's going to be Dom. He's looking for that shove down the first drop. I do want to see. We got Shane on the leaderboard. Shane with a 10.18 total score right now.
Yeah, that's a major jump right. That's exactly what I was saying. I was curious to see where the judges were going to go with the scores on that one, just because that's a big jump from some of these warm up lines that we've seen out of these guys to Shane putting down arguably a pro level line.
Yeah, and small note about the scoring. We had a lot, TJ, myself, Jordan Faller, we had a lot. Ooh, just went down on that front lip. Might have needed a little more edge into that to avoid getting pulled into the middle. Each is scored out of 10. So a theoretical best score, right? You get 2 runs, 1 best trick counts. Theoretical best score is 30. But the level of trick, we're not talking about a trick that's been done. We're talking about unbelievable, doesn't even make sense level. So if you're looking at the scores going, how is 10 good? It's like, well, first off, we're using the same scale as we are for the pros, right? And it's going to it's just harder now to get good scores with the level of riding. What is a kickflip board slide worth for when Maxime's doing hard flip back lip,
That was a big point of discussion at stop number 1. We definitely had some of the riders asking about tricks that, it's tough to see a numerical value put on some of these tricks. Things that, we all know the difficulty level of flipping your board onto a rail. But, a kickflip board slide was ranking in the in the mid 7s, and that was a tough pill for people to swallow. They thought it was worth more, but we have to leave room for what we know is possible on a wake skate.
Oh, Paul stomping the front big down the drop. Now he did relax on the first one, right? Just did the board slide, but then the front big was perfect. You love to see it. And toe side, one hand, just looked awesome. Ropes around that buoy right there. Very much love to see that out of Paul.
Yeah, Paul looking super comfy on that front big. I think that was a strategic decision here to kind of tone down that top drop and let him attack the front big. Paul, confidence levels are up. You come away from a trick like that on the top drop, I would not be surprised to see him go back to the front big down the drop, but up the difficulty level on that first hit.
I think that's the wise play, and I'm sure he's probably thinking that way. And then I bet you, so he'll do a harder trick on the first drop, get that front big down, and then I think he's going to move on to trying that kickflip. As Shane Edwards, the current leader of the Open Division, comes in, what's he got for us now? Landed his last line pretty clean.
Yeah, Shane on his 6 pull here, back lip to fakie. Just looking so smooth and polished out there. Switch board slide big spin. Shane.
Back lip fakie to switch board slide big spin out.
Mark, I'm a big composition guy over here. Like, I'm not – sometimes the most difficult tricks put together don't flow as far as when you're putting together a run. So in a section like this where they're being judged on a line, I think it's a big deal what tricks you're putting together. When you land switch, going into a switch trick, all that stuff matters. Shane, a perfect example of being able to land a trick switch and having a switch trick to go down the drop so that he doesn't have to slide around or revert back.
Hey, we got quite a few people in the chat. Guys, let us know. What are you trying to see out here from the Open Division? Who are you pulling for? Where's your money in Vegas? Who's it on? We got an awesome collection of riders that have all been either newcomers that are shredding super hard or been riding for years and showing what they got. Let us know. I've got the chat open. We will give your shout-outs as Todd Allen comes in for the backside board slide. Ooh, going for that back 270 out again. Colloquially known as
the Johnny Mac.
Let's take another look at Shane's last run
run
here.
this back. I love the replays.
Thank you, Shreddy Manufacturing.
Oh yeah, backlip fakie with ease. You see that even the edge allowed him to get no tension on that handle. He's able to just come around super, super easily. Switch board slide big spin and just absolutely bolts.
Couldn't have done it cleaner. That's going to be an average score of 5.92 on that. Is that the highest score of Open so far, or did his other line?
That's what I was wondering. I mean, I have those two lines pretty close together. They gave him a 5.8 on the first one.
Yep.
So maybe just a bit more difficulty level with the front shove board slide, and I think that the two bottom tricks pretty equal as far as a switch. You know, switch board slide hitting the rail switch is difficult, but he did a front lip on the first one to shove out. So, you know, switch board slide, regular front lip are pretty close in difficulty.
Right.
So. But Shane, I just love the way he's mixing it up. Both of those lines are so different. He's covering a lot of bases here with the judges. Not sure what they're looking for because they're heat number one here.
Right.
So by giving them a lot to choose from, he's also kind of fishing for what they're looking for to figure out what his best lines are going to be.
Most definitely. As Dominic comes in looking for that front lip, stomped it. Coming in toe side. What's he want out of this? Oh, God, I thought he got
Dom,
that
hang
shove.
on to it.
Yeah, Dom.
So close.
So close. Looking good on that right on front lip into a big toe shove. Rotated that nice and good down this big drop.
And Dom was rounding out pull number 6 there. So we're going into pull 7. We're going to have 2 more pulls at the best line here. So each guy's going to get 2 more tries at hitting both drops. And then we're going to move on to best trick. So we've got, you know, plenty of pulls left for everyone in here, but we are getting down to the final few for best line, and they need 2 lines. So everyone's got a pretty good score right now. Shane sitting on top with 2 incredible lines. He's definitely blurring the pro and open divisions here. Fishing for what these judges want, though. You know, Shane shoving onto rails, doing lip slides, shoving out. You know, he's definitely going to want to go back and revisit the scores of the lines to see what he's going to want to do moving on, assuming he moves on.
It is an assumption, but it's not an unfair one. Shane is riding very well in this open division.
He keeps widening the gap too, Marcus. The gap is getting wider and wider. These guys are going to have to turn up the heat a little bit if they want to keep pace with Shane.
Yeah, and Paul, you know, Paul's got to be feeling good. Sitting there in second place, just stomped his trick down the big drop that he wanted, that front big. My guess is he steps up his first trick. And if you want to sponsor Paul Pugh, give him a call. Call for info. He's open. Riding out of St. Louis, Missouri, thanks to the Wax House Bio. Riding regular. Missouri crew is strong in this heat. We got 2 guys riding out of St. Louis. 3, well, in this division, we got 3. Of course, our commissioner, Bobby Sutherland, will be riding in the next open heat. You love to see it. Paul Pugh currently sitting on a good score of 7.98. We know he's going to want to step up that front big line. Try and maybe eliminate that 3.61. 2 scores count from the lines.
And you know, some of these guys might be actually waiting for that best trick section.
Sure.
Putting the lines together is difficult. You kind of got to tone everything down because consistency is a huge factor with the line section. When we go into the big tricks, they're going to be able to focus on some of their hammers. So some of the guys might actually shine a little more when we move into the best trick section.
All right. That is, so he rides
270
on.
to front board. Switch 270 front board. Ooh. Looking for the kickflip, popping it to the moon. Marcus, that was over the top of your water bottle on the table here.
He definitely is not a stranger to popping the stew out of his tricks. But, you know, going for that, going for the switch 270 to front board to kickflip. He's got 2 good lines. Got to be feeling good about it, and now he wants to see the kickflip. Riding in those Ishad wares. You know, I used to wake skate in those, and they're heavy guys.
I saw Maxime wearing those on the dock, too. I think Maxime's rocking some Ishads as well.
There you go. What is the most popular wake skate shoe? I feel like
in this past few years, I think it's the Vans AVE, the original, like just at cable parks and stuff. You've seen people wearing them. If you don't know what they are, they're the Vans that have kind of like a suede toe cap and a mesh body.
All right, here comes Shane Edward, his Wax House Bio, 15 years old, out of British Columbia and Canada, sponsored by Water Monsters, Innovation 7, Rail Yard, Wake Canada. He's showing us why he's got all those names supporting him.
Yeah, he's got me sitting on the edge of my seat here. What's he gonna do? Front lip on the top.
Like that.
He's going over.
Tall edge. Oh,
back one.
Ooh.
Yeah. Shane is known to send it like that.
That was he definitely hit it pretty hard there.
If you've ever lurked Shane's social media page, you'll see he be doing that. He sends it over the rail. He's got the back one over it. He kind of yanks it late, so he'll do that. It looked like he was just going for an ollie, but he'll ollie over the rail completely past it and then yank kind of a late back 180. And then he's also doing front threes over the rails like that too. So he's all over the place here. He's given the judges a lot to kind of contemplate as far as what they're going to weight more heavily than other things. So, but he's going to end up with a lot of data to look back on after this and kind of see what were they liking, what were they a little softer on. Moving forward, he's going to. I think his scores are just going to get higher and higher all weekend as he figures out not only what he can do, but what the judges want to see.
That's right. Ollieing over that big rail. He's not ollieing over the small one. He's ollieing over the tall one. Did clip a little bit at the beginning and then had a nice slam there. That's Todd Allen, sponsored by Liar Latham, coming in. Amazing wakeboarder team.
Todd's a wake skater.
But he is a wake skater. Oh, going down on that 180.
All right, and that's pull number 7. So he's going to get one more go at the line. Again, he's got a couple solid ones, but I want to see him get a line with that board slide Johnny Mac or board slide back 270 off. I think that's probably the highest difficulty level trick he was doing on the bottom. So I think if he could link that up with something, he'd jump up the leaderboard a little bit.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
We got Dom Otero on the dock. His Wax House bio, 21 years old. Mark, I'm loving seeing all these young ages. It makes me feel old, but yeah, seeing all these young ages on there. Dom just celebrating his 21st birthday very recently out here, so we're having a late little celebration out here. He had his first beer ever, never touched a sip of alcohol in his life.
Until what?
Until his 21st birthday.
Just a few days
he
ago.
Just did it, so congratulations to Dom. Stoked to be out here celebrating with him.
Trying to get another line here. Dom looking for a front lip out of this. Ooh. Oh, he needs a little more edge into that. Kind of coming at it with an edge on, but steady, so that once he hits the rail, the cable is pulling him back inside.
Yeah, and that's going to be that'll be the last of pull 7 for us. So we're going to round out. Everyone's going to get one more attempt at the line here. So each rider, one more shot at the line. Let's make sure hopefully the riders know. I don't know if they're checking that screen or not. We'll get word to them so they know this is their last line. So each rider going to get one more attempt at the full pull out here. Look at the smiles on the dock are huge. These guys are stoked. Everyone's happy to be out here, as am I. I miss being on the dock with everyone, but it's just as fun to be out there on the dock practicing with everyone and just hanging on shore. Being present, riding or not, at Blackwater Junction it's a real treat.
It's awesome. And in this open division, we have 8 total riders, and the top 4 are going through to the final. So it's a serious cut that we're making right off the bat. You got to get some cool stuff as Paul Pugh comes in for his final run score.
Yeah, Paul coming in switch, looking for this 270, switch 270 to front board. He's got that on lock. He wants the kickflip, though. Oh, flipping it, bringing it around grip. Paul holding it down for the open division out here.
Yeah.
I think he's looking pretty solid. I would say, with the 7-8 in this line section, that's a pretty good starting point moving into best trick. And again, like as I was saying earlier, with some guys maybe shining a little more in best trick. Paul being one, if he's able to just go straight at that kickflip, I think we're gonna see. I wouldn't be surprised to see him land it.
I wouldn't be surprised either. He got one yesterday.
He's done it. All right.
No, sorry, he didn't land it, but he got one feet on grip, landed pretty steady, a little closer than we've seen his 2 attempts today. So with 4 more tries, you think he's probably able to stomp it. Would love to see that out of Paul. As Shane Edwards gets ready for his final run score.
What is Shane gonna do? he's on a tear right now. He's,
Yeah, do you go for that ollie
wait till they
over again?
bring up Shane's score list. I mean, look at there a lot of throwaways. You see them slashing out the throwaway scores, but even those throwaway scores are some of those are pretty high. He's got a 4-3 that he's just throwing away. Any other of these guys would love to have that score on their list right now.
Nice front lift.
Love the way he hit the inside edge of that and rocks onto the top, just showing the control.
Oh, and ollie over.
Yeah, just
the tall
I think
rail.
that's just a little heat check on that rail and how
Right.
high it is.
Right. Tough to judge, that is it's tough. You got to come out with a lot of angle, a lot of speed. You approach it differently than you approach a lot of other things. But does it compare to a front shove board slide? Does it compare to his back three down the drop, his switchboard slide, big spin out?
Yeah, I don't think that this line is going to top any of those other two lines he has, but I think that's more about him feeling out going over that ledge. Because like we said earlier, he's been known, if you lurk his social page, he's been known to back one over a ledge like that, front three over a ledge like that. I bet he could shove over it. So I think it was just a little heat check maybe. We're about to move on to the best trick section here, so Shane's going to be able to focus on just one harder trick.
As Todd Allen gets ready for his last run score.
Let's see if Todd can clutch up.
Let's do it, Todd.
Oh,
just going down on that 180.
Todd getting some love from the crowd. He's definitely a fan favorite out here. Todd is puts out a real good vibe, and he's pretty social. He makes his rounds out here. He knows quite a few of these people.
Is Lucy here this weekend? I think I saw a gigantic black dog. Yeah, Lucy, his pup, is very cute and roaming
We could do
around.
with a few more black dogs out here. I like a good black dog.
Yeah, Lucy is a cutie. Got just great weather right now. A little bit of cloud cover, not too hot. It's a long journey up here to Virginia, but it is always worth it. The travel can be a little bit brutal depending on where you're coming from. Todd from Valdosta. These other guys came from all the way from St. Louis. Shane from Canada. All deciding worth their time, worth their weekend, worth their wake skating to come here. And once you get here, once you pull up and see the setup, you immediately feel like you made the right decision.
Yeah, we had a couple of our homies from Orlando that were on the fence about coming up. Jason Fernandez and Andres. They were, they ended up having to make the drive, and they were looking at that 10-hour time, like, do we really want to do it? I'm not sure. And just ended up convincing them. I was like, if you're even going to watch a second of that coverage and you were thinking about coming up, as soon as you see the time that we're having out there, you're going to be bummed you didn't make the drive. And they did. They made it. And they said exactly that. When we pulled up, they were like, as soon as we saw this place, we knew we made the right decision.
Most definitely. As Dom comes in for his last run score. Yeah, just coming in. There we go. Okay, a little more on it. Front lip. Wants this shoved down. Let's close this up.
Clutch up, Dom. Clutch up. There it is.
Oh,
going out the front.
The nose went a little down there. Would have loved to have seen it. Yeah, I'm very stoked at Andres and Jason. I was at OWC in Orlando with them a few days ago. They were on the fence, and I was like, guys, come on. Come on. Andres had a pretty nice little practice run last night. You got it, Dom. Come on. We are on to the best trick. And, I am biased, but I do love a big trick down the drop. Dom going for the shove. Paul's kickflip would be epic. Love the ollie over the rail. Excited to see what these guys have in store. As it sits now, after the run scores are all tallied, we have Shane Edward in first place with 11.74, Paul Pugh second, 7.98, Todd with 3.42, and Dom with 2.88. And now those two scores tabulated, it's time. They've got 4 hits for 1 score. So pressure's on.
Yeah, they got a second here to strategize moving on, especially some of these guys, they're going to want to turn up the heat here. Shane is sitting pretty comfortably, but they've already got their line scores. Now they got to get a best trick, so you got to do something. You can't come in here and whiff, because if you come in and whiff, that could change things drastically. You really got to get a solid score. So it'll be interesting to see the strategy here.
Does the front
Paul
shove.
going for the front shove. So again, we're not going to do
Perfect.
2 hits here. This is 1 hit, so they can hit just about anything they want out here. Paul opting to go down the drop, doing the front side shove it, locking in a good score here for his first trick. So we're not doing the full line anymore. Now
Right.
it's just 1 trick that's going to allow them to kind of go for it a little more here. They don't have to worry about linking 2 things together. They can just hit a hammer. So Paul put down a pretty solid one, a front shove. I know he's capable of a lot more than that, but he's got 1 hit out of his way. Now he can focus on up in the difficulty level.
Right. He'll get the score in, and I like that front shove. It is down the smaller gap. We know harder stuff's going to be done, but hey, to start out, love a front shove down the first drop. And it was super nice, super clean. As Shane Edwards, you got to wonder what he is going to do for his best trick. Just waiting a second to let the judges tabulate their scores. We got a little switch up, like we said. Only 1 trick. Paul doing it with the front shove. We're going to see what Mr. Alrighty, here we got a close-up view of all of our riders, guys. We've got Paul Pugh, Dom, and Todd all chilling there. Got some people chilling on the dock. Looks like Erica, who often is the MVP of this weekend, pulling a bunch of folks. Who's that over there? We got some people chilling, ready to... that's Hunter Hockenberry there in the background, getting ready for his heat. A lot of fun-looking wake skates down there. And up at the booth, we've got, let's see, we got Erica, Trey, and Bammer, and, of course, Rhino. Rhino being typically the more chill of the pair, Rhino and Rue. Rue likes to run it down when people are out here on that pull tower.
I see the entire Canadian contingency down there. Great to see the way those guys support each other. We've got Shane in this heat, but then Dylan Cook is going to be in heat number 2. So, but I see Dylan and Jordan over there sitting there supporting their boy Shane. You'll watch if you watch Jordan and Shane closely. Shane will come back and talk with Jordan mid-heat, and they kind of strategize and talk stuff. So Jordan's giving him a little bit of that insight, like we were talking about earlier. How sometimes the difference between the pro and the open division isn't as big of a skill gap as it is just knowing the game, knowing the strategy, and what you need to do to get through out here. So you'll see if you watch them, Jordan pulling Shane aside a little bit and kind of just talking strategy with him. I think that's part of the reason why we're seeing Shane look so comfortable out here is he's got a team behind him kind of helping him along.
Yeah, you love to see it. And I that phrase you just used, my goodness, the Canadian contingency, I think we're going to have to keep that one.
That feels good, huh?
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. And, has hallmarks of an old contest. There was a contest called, wait, am I crazy? Contingency?
One of my favorite contests that ever happened in wake skating. It was the, if we got a second, or maybe we don't, here goes Shane.
Shane for his best trick. You got to wonder. He absolutely threw it down in the line section. What does he want for his best trick? Looks like he is coming for the first drop. Oh, very nice.
On.
Squared that up. Awesome. Came out fakie. Front shove, board slide. That in this division is pretty serious maneuver. Let's take a Shreddy Manufacturing replay. Awesome. Front shove. Well, there was a little...
Skirting?
Not controversy. No, not skirting. I was just saying, when you land fakie, do you just call it big spin board slide?
I call it a big spin board slide.
And it's a front shove board slide if you don't go fakie.
Yes,
yes.
for me.
Yep.
Yeah, it
okay.
is. I know that's not. There's nothing to that, but that's just what it is for me, and for quite a few other people, I think too.
All right, Todd Allen.
Skateboarders lean towards calling everything big spin. Even if it's a 270 shove, they call it a big spin.
Ooh, going for the front shove. Same maneuver Paul did. Thanks, 420 Films. Said, good to have the OG crew back on the mic. Thanks, Marcus TJ.
Hey, we are back.
Appreciate it.
Who do you think's behind that?
Got to be James McQuiggan, I feel.
Yeah. Could be John Fear from the Great Beyond, though.
Yeah, from R.I.P. John Fear. Dom getting ready.
What's going on in the chat? You got the chat up over there? I haven't.
Yeah.
I want to see.
Check it out.
Let's talk
We
with
updated.
the chat.
Guys, let us
What
know
up?
what's
Who the
up, where
homies
you're
in
watching
here?
from, who you're cheering for, what you're most looking forward to today, or, any shout-outs you want us to
Oh,
pass
the
along.
chat is active, dude. I have so much support for. We got Team Shane in
Yep,
here.
Team Shane is large and in
I see
charge.
some Canada supporters in there, supporting Dylan, supporting Shane. And we got Taco in the mix. If you know anything about Taco, that's Wakeskate Wednesday.
Let's go.
Shout out our boy Dale.
South Africa. He said he was sneaky watching at work. As Dom comes in for his first maneuver. Oh, he almost gets the three
He almost
shove.
pulled it out.
Let's go. Okay, interesting. I wonder if they had a discussion or if it's just serendipitous that they're all hitting the first drop. Nobody going for that second drop for their best trick yet.
Yeah, I mean, and we did have some discussion about that, because especially transitioning from best line to best trick, it is kind of like when we saw Paul's first hit, seeing him stop in the middle drop is kind of a little confusing, I think, for viewers and people here. But I think to just limit the guys and tell them what they have to do it on, maybe not something we want to do. But again, I think for the open division, focusing on the top drop, you're going to be able to see the technical level of tricks go up here.
I like the idea. Yeah, I like that we're going to see more maneuvers. You get to not just be ready for a huge impact sometimes. And look, that's what makes it gnarlier on the bottom drop. But if it means we see more tricks, I'm all for it. Paul coming off a nice front shove for his first score. Let's see what he wants for his second one.
Yeah, he wants that kick flip. Sends him to the moon. There is no turning the pop down for that guy.
He does.
His pop's on 12 and nothing else.
If I was talking to him right now, I think I would say just wait a hair longer before you flick the board. He's flicking it as it's, as the board is leaving. And in general, down drops, as we were talking about earlier, you just want to slow it down. Paul Pugh sitting nice. He's got a total score of 10.06. That front shove getting him a combined score of 2.08.
Yeah, he's most likely going to want to throw that front shove away.
Yep.
But if he has to keep it, it's not. It's a solid score.
Yep.
So Paul probably in the best position. Shane obviously sitting great too. I think Shane is solidifying himself that he's going to be in this final, whether they like it or not.
Well, me personally, TJ, I like it. I'm ready to see this guy.
I like the stunt, Mark. I do like the stunt.
Let's see what he's got after that first best trick attempt. Whoa. Ooh. Not slowing down.
Now, taking a heavy hit there. I mean, when you take an edge like that with that aggressive of an angle to go over a box that wide, your speed, this thing's pulling you about 20 miles an hour down here. So when you start moving perpendicular away from it like that, he's probably getting up to 25 miles an hour when he's hitting the water there. So Shane showing that the young body can take those impacts. I don't know how many of those type of falls I'm trying to take anymore, Mark.
I saw him body the skate park a couple times last night, too.
Yeah, late night rolling around session for Shane turned into a couple slams.
He took a chesty.
I don't think he knows how to tone it down. I think he just knows how to go.
I remember being 15 and wake skating. It was good times. It was good times. The body cooperated a little more than it does now. I am more than twice the age of Mr. Shane, and he is shredding as hard as any 15-year-old ever has.
Yeah, you are getting old.
Yeah, it's happening. It's happening slowly.
Still pretty good though.
It's fun. It's awesome to still be doing it.
You're doing wild maneuvers down big obstacles.
I like it big.
Big apparatuses.
I like large drops. I did
Is it
take a little
apparatuses?
shinner yesterday, and it hurts a little more than it used to.
What trick? What got you?
That was trying to 270 shove front lip.
Was it the board or the ledge that got you?
The board. Got a board dinger.
Yeah, that was worst. That I saw that hit. That was the worst case scenario on that trick, and it wasn't that bad. So
No,
I think
it's not too bad.
I think you got that trick. I tried. Was that the 270 shove front lip?
Yep.
Yeah, I tried some of those too.
You stomped on.
That's
a
a
couple
very
of them.
feels like a gettable trick on these ledges. Difficulty level's still high, but because the width of them, you're able to guarantee as long as you can get a foot or step on it that you'll be able to get past them, and you're not going to hit it with a piece of your body.
Right. As Todd Allen coming in, went for a front shove last time, was pretty darn close down this top drop. Second attempt.
He's really controlled on that trick.
I know.
He's got that.
just having some issues with the landings. His executions of the trick are looking pretty darn good.
What's your knowledge of the origin of that the name board slide Johnny Mac, and what is a Johnny Mac to you? Can it be done in more places? Does it have to be done off of a rail? What exactly is a Johnny Mac when we hear that term?
So I know Johnny Mac supposedly is the name of a tennis player, famous tennis player. The origin, John McEnroe. Now, the connection between that tennis phenom and the maneuver that might traditionally be called a board slide or front lip to back 270 out, not entirely clear there. But no, a Johnny Mac doesn't have to be done off a rail. It can be done off the lip of a boat or a jet ski as well. And it's just your chest is facing your riding direction, so either backside board slide or frontside lip slide, and then you are doing a backside 270. It's a feel-good trick. A lot of folks have it as Dom comes in, gets, oh man, just maybe ollied a little bit late there. Sounded like he tapped the top of the dam.
Yeah, definitely heard a little donk there.
That first attempt was pretty darn close. Would love to see Dom get the 3 shove. Would love to see it. As we go to the top of the order, and it's Paul Pugh again. We are in the second half of these trick scores. Only 4 attempts for best trick. 1 counts. Favoring those lines, and I think the reasoning makes sense. It's because consistency has a lot of value here. We could, there was a time in these events, maybe back in the Wakeskate Tour days, where you just had the 1 drop and it was just best trick, and it was a lot of hucking, there was a lot of falling, and then sometimes, me personally for sure, you didn't even get anything. So then you just spent 12 attempts doing nothing. As we look at our leaderboard after those first 2 attempts, Shane leading it, of course, with a 15.9. Paul, a nice second place with a 10.02. Todd with 3.42. Dom with 2.88. They're both still looking for that score to get them up as Paul comes for a second attempt.
And talking about the huck aspect of when a contest just has 1 drop to do something down, there's sometimes I'm nostalgic for those old Wakeskate Tour events, so I'm actually really enjoying this format of kind of blending those 2 styles of, yes, we got some lines that we're looking for here, but we're also kind of narrowing the focus a little bit and allowing them to huck a little bit if we do want to go that far and say that. I think as long as you get a solid trick out of your way, as Paul did with that front shove out of the way, you can start hucking them, because I mean that's a little bit what this best trick section is for. It's 4 pulls, so that's not a ton of pulls to get something, but definitely within 1 or 2 tries you should be able to get one of your stock bangers, something that is solid but maybe not your hardest trick. Get that out of your way, and then get 2 pulls at a hammer time, or 3 pulls at a hammer.
Yeah, there's just, and we saw the same thing. Look, it's a different sport, it's different action, but you see the guys' confidence in the Olympics riding in the skateboard division when they had those first run scores, when they got their first best trick. It's just so much more comfortable. It's more fun. You saw it last year with Travis Belcito here, landing a couple good lines in the beginning, made him feel really good as Shane Edwards comes in hot.
Wow, Shane.
I personally am a massive fan of that particular brand of shove board slide.
Front shove board slide to
Johnny Mac out.
Yeah, that's the Johnny Mac. Anytime you're taking something 270 out of a backboard or a front lip.
I mean, think about it. Just a couple years ago, maybe even last year, Travis Belcito doing that in the pro division was considered absolutely top tier. It just shows to show you how good Shane is and how comfortable he is on a wake skate.
Top tier, Mark. It's a bit of a stretch. I mean, we've shove board slides have been going on since the 2010s, but I mean we've gotten pretty picky about how they are done. So we were talking about earlier when Shane was trying them in this run section. We're really looking now, and so are the judges, at making sure they're not just shoving onto the rail. We want to see them tee it up, get full perpendicular, 90 degrees on there. As Shane just showed right there, he went perfectly 90 and then yanking that 270 out of it, aka the Johnny Mac.
Yeah. I didn't mean that a front shove board slide is top tier, but Johnny Mac out is one of the trickier ways out. And oh yeah, Todd stomps the board slide back 270. And I remember Trav Belcito doing that in a finals run, and it's like, man, that is different. Love to see Todd get that board slide back 270. Perfect.
Clutching up Still got to pull. It's getting in those late hours though here in heat number 1. Only a few hits left. We got Paul coming in for his 3rd hit here. Paul's going to take his 3rd, and then each of these guys is going to get 1 more. Yeah, we'll cut back. I think Paul's only got right now that front shove down it, but again, he has a trick, so he does have a score.
We got Dom coming up next. Been working on this 3 shove. We got a 2.52 for that.
Yeah, Todd
board
clutching
slide.
up,
Johnny
coming
Mac.
through with that board slide, 270.
Oh, man. Dom has a really cool style. Kind of sucks it up to him, and a cool catch, widening his feet as he's catching it. I would love to see him get that. He's going to get 1 more shot at that 3 shove. Gotta say, I saw Jordan Schwaller do a 3 shove down that drop yesterday. Pretty cool.
Yeah, Jordan Schwaller, one of our judges, was out here demonstrating that he doesn't just know wake skating. He doesn't just know ball. He plays ball.
Let's see Paul's landed tricks real quick. Yeah, Jordan Schwaller, kind of a shadowy league figure at this point.
Behind the scenes making the big decisions, though.
Nice front shove there from Paul Pugh as he looks to, those last 2 kickflip attempts, a little bit of a struggle. Big pop, but not really getting the board around. And he's looking at a 10.06, all things being told. And yeah, like you said, he got that front shove down. He has a best trick score.
You got to wonder, are these guys glancing at that leaderboard back there, kind of figuring out? I mean, Shane not worried about anything right now.
Shane is feeling good.
But I wonder if the rest of these guys are looking at that leaderboard thinking, all right, I got to go swing for something here. And last pull, I mean.
Here he comes. That's
sending the air back roll out of that.
Wait. Yeah, he's regular, so that was a switchboard slide. No, okay, never mind.
Oh, kickflip over here in front of us, remember?
Yep, you're right.
He was doing the switch 270 to front board on the ledge, is what you were seeing.
I was trying to mentalize it.
All right, well that's gonna be it for Paul. Paul got some scores though. He's looking good. He's I believe sitting in 2nd place after a glance at that leaderboard. So Paul feeling good right now. We still have an entire another heat to go, so he is not safe. That's no guarantees there. Technically, no one is though, because heat number 2 could really come out firing and make it so that none of these guys get in. Here we go, heat number 1. This is just a quick overview of the scores and the names coming up in heat number 2. Some of these familiar names that we've seen before, and then a couple of new names as well. But Shane Edward, currently our leader in the open division. Shane showing why he made the trek all the way from Canada. I think he did not come to take 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th place. Shane wants a dub. I also heard rumors that Shane was pushing, he wanted to ride in pro. And I think the staff, Bob and the team over here at PWL ultimately made the decision of, we think you can ride pro, but we want to see you win one here. Just win an open, and then if you want to move on, you can. But Shane is definitely showing us why, making a case for himself, saying, hey, I'm a pro. I should be out there with the big dogs.
Hey. Shane wants it all.
Yeah, if you're gonna play, you play to win. Maybe not everyone has that mentality. Sometimes, it is just a blast to be out here. I can totally see just coming out here for the experience, to ride with everyone and be a part of it. But I don't think that's Shane's approach at all. I think Shane is coming in hot.
All right, here comes Todd Allen. Got to be feeling good after he landed his last best trick. Here's the last. Oh, going for the back
Todd.
big.
Back biggie boy. I've seen him do that on the full size. All right, we are getting close here. One more pull. No? Dom's got a pull. He finishes.
Dom's got his last attempt coming up here. Would be awesome to see him. This is the last hit of Heat 1. Sitting at a 2.88. Not the best score, but he could certainly up it with this 3 shove. Hey, we got an amazing live scoring system up. We are pretty excited about it, and we are open to branding opportunities. If you want to sponsor the tour, every time there's a live score, we say your name. Please let us know. Hit up the commissioner, Bobby Sutherland, or any of us. We'll let him know. We could say, oh man, look at that blank blank. Your name here, live score. Or, if you're just a guy who's passionate about wake skating, let's just say your name every time there's a live score. If you want to sponsor, throw down, help us out, we would love to see it.
We need a beverage sponsor, Marcus. I feel like that's something that there's so much real estate out here for some logos and to make it look cool. Not only that, but I mean, if you're a beverage brand and you got a color scheme, we can make this whole place your color scheme too. I mean, let's
Do it.
let's talk to. If you got a beverage company, you want to work with us, hit us up.
All right, here comes Dom. Thanks. Big air 3 shove, not quite getting it. Well, alrighty. Well, hey, that was an awesome heat 1. Shane Edwards showing his dominance. Paul Pugh landing some good stuff too.
Always tough to be the icebreaker heat out here. Someone's got to do it. Someone's got to be first. You don't envy the guys that got to do it because it is when you don't get to see anything. You're laying that baseline down. It's not easy, but someone's got to do it. So I appreciate these guys getting us started out here. They came out swinging too. It was definitely not to be taken lightly, especially Shane. What did you see out there in heat number 1?
I saw a guy who's incredibly consistent and comfortable in Shane Edwards. I saw Paul risking some things, but also knowing when to play it safe.
I love that front big that Paul did.
The front big was dope. Front big down the big drop. It is not easy. We are going to take a very, very short break, guys. Don't go anywhere. We're going to get straight into heat number 2, where our final 4 riders will be throwing it down. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in just a minute.
Yeah.